Hey guys, what's up? It's Delicia. Thanks for tuning into the Cigar Vixen channel. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Big Payback by Room 101, Matt Booth's little baby here. Cool idea behind it. He's doing kind of a payback or a thank you to all of the consumers that have been loyal to him and to his brand. As you may or may not know, Matt Booth is quite the character. He's got a phenomenal series of all kinds of different stuff that's going on. He's got his Room 101 collection and, you know, the Master one. He's got some really great Lanceros. So that was the first thing about his brand that really caught my eye, was the fact that he had a lot of different Lanceros to offer, and they're all really good. So that's one thing, again, that just really was like an eye-opener to me. I've had the opportunity of meeting him. Super cool guy, and just has a great sense of humor, very sarcastic, so totally get it and love it. Anyways, he does some really cool blends, and this is one of them. So this one is available in 3 different sizes. Today I'm going to be smoking the Chavela, or the Robusto. This is a 5x50. So Chavela is kind of a cool name. Again, all 3 of the sizes in this line have like a Mexican theme type of a name. Chavela is like a slang word kind of for like a good looking chick or a sexy girl kind of a thing. It's also like a shortened version of the name Isabella, so I don't think that had anything to do with it. I think it's more of the first one that I mentioned, but I've never asked him, so I don't know for sure. It also reminds me of one of my favorite like Mexican singers, Chavela Vargas, so that was a cool thing that I made that association. But anyways, let's get this baby lit up. This is a Nicaraguan puro. And so this, hopefully you can see this very well. This is a little mini Matt Booth. This was hilarious. This is totally like his personality. These were given out during the Little Smoke in Washington that I recently attended, during which there was a VIP dinner, and all the different manufacturers, cigar manufacturers that were there had an opportunity to get on stage and answer like anybody's questions. And so it was this big panel of Q&A kind of a stuff. I had the pleasure of hosting the event as the MC, which was the first time for me doing that. It was kind of interesting. That's not really my gig. I'm not really like an MC type of a person, but hey, I did it, and it was a cool honor to do it. And anyways, Matt Booth was, of course, you know, hilarious. And when he got up to talk about his beginning, you know, starting his line and making cigars and whatnot, he actually, I don't know how he did this, but he had a slideshow. All of a sudden this slideshow comes on, and I'm kind of looking at it, and I'm standing in with like where people are sitting, and I'm like staring at the slideshow. I'm like, man, that looks like Pablo Escobar. It took me a second. It didn't dawn on me right away that, well, it was Pablo Escobar. You know, he did his, you know how he does all this stuff on social media with putting pictures and kind of making it funny. He had done this whole slideshow, in other words, that went along with his story of how he got into tobacco, but rather than, you know, regular tobacco fields and bales, it was all like Pablo Escobar, cocaine, and, you know, AK-47s and all this really funny stuff. So anyways, just a really cool kind of guy. But these were given out. These are little punches, and everybody was like trying to figure out what this was, because we got them in the bags and we're like, what is this? And people are messing with it. So needless to say, there was a lot of Matt Booth jokes, you know, screwing Matt Booth and all that kind of stuff floating around. Anyways, this is a little punch, so I'm going to use that to go ahead and get this little guy cut open. And again, this is a Nicaraguan puro. Really a value priced stick. So this particular size is about $5. And again, the whole reasoning behind it was that it's a payback to the consumers, to the customers, people that support the brand, and kind of giving a more affordable stick. And, you know, still delivering the quality that's expected and the good flavors. I'm gonna get this little guy toasted up. Very nice construction from the outside. The wrapper was very appealing. A little bit of veins showing, but overall very flawless as far as any types of, you know, rough, weird spots. It was all really pretty. So right away it hits you with a nice, warm, toasty cedar. There's a little bit of an earthiness that's kind of present as well, but it's kind of just reminded me of a wooded type of. Toasted cedar is the best way to describe it. I'm not going to try and get too fancy with it. Toasted cedar is the flavor that I'm getting. There's a little hint of black pepper that's kind of lingering on the finish. There's a nice earthiness to it as well. But as normal, I'm going to go ahead and smoke it down and get back in with you for the second third. So coming into the second third, as you can see, a very nice solid white ash that's hanging on, you know, well into the second third now, which is impressive, especially again for that price point of $5. I mean, it's a really good deal. Flavor wise, it's still sticking with some of that cedar, that toasted kind of a cedar. There's a nice natural, you know, tobacco flavor as well. But there's also a little bit of a zest. There's kind of like an orange peel zest, just slight, but there's a mixture of peppers going on. There's still that black pepper that's on the finish, but in between there's kind of a zesty green pepper type of feel to it as well. So a nice shift of some different flavors going on, very enjoyable, and just, you know, very quality construction. Haven't had to touch it up at all. As you can see, that ash is just very solid. So hats off to the construction on it. I'm going to smoke it down a little bit more and check back in with you once I get past the second third. So coming into the last third of the Payback, it's a little smoke bomb. This thing is producing a lot of smoke throughout the entire stick. The ash just fell off a little while ago, but the construction overall again has been really impressive, especially for that price point, just really well made. The flavors have been very transitional. There was an introduction of a cinnamon, kind of a sweet spice that was in the beginning of the last third. And then it shifted into kind of a clove spearmint, almost overpowering for a second. It was very short. It was just kind of a few puffs, and then the palate was just kind of lingering with this nice spearmint clove type of a flavor. And then it shifted into a sweetness, kind of like a licorice, you know, anise type of flavoring. And those last few puffs I've taken have really had a lot of spice. Different spice, a mixture of different types of peppers, you know, black pepper. I taste green peppercorn for some reason, so there's a little bit of that. There's still an underlying woodsiness to it. Still, I would say still the cedar, not really the oaky, but just a nice sweetness. It's transitional, but there's a nice balance and there's a good amount of shifts, so it keeps you on your toes. It's not boring in any way. Again, this construction was great, and it's a really good price point, so I encourage you to try it for yourself, of course, and stock up on this one. It's nice to see somebody offer, you know, both ends of the spectrum, you know, having a little more of a kind of expensive line, not super expensive, but more premium on that price point with some of the other lines that MacBook does carry. But then it's good to see, you know, this lower price point for the everyday smoker, which is still a good quality, good flavor. So overall, just a very enjoyable cigar, and I'd love to hear your comments and your thoughts on it. So as always, thanks for watching and have a great week. Cheers.